So welcome everybody. My name is Manoj Onkar, and I will be leading this session. I have my partner from Philippines, Aljor Pereiras. Aljor, can you wave your hand? Yeah, okay. So he's a partner, and we do our OD initiatives and in Philippines and Thailand in partnership between our two companies. And we welcome you to this introductory masterclass for our OD program called ODeX, that is OD experts. And look at your role as an organization leader. We are going to treat you as somebody who is an organization leader. Either it's your own organization that you're leading or you are supporting some other organization. But basically, you are interested in creating extraordinary organizations. OD is all about that, by the way. It's about transforming organizations into extraordinary organizations, long-term successful organizations. All right. So let's start with a question that we ask all our clients when we're doing OD consulting. And the first question we ask is, how long have you planned the life of your organization? Or what is the life of your organization that you're planning? So each one of you here is also an organization, even if you are a consultant, right? And of course, those who are running companies. So please answer that. Just shout out, what's the life of the organization that you're planning?
You mean previously or in the future?
Future, right? In terms of years, number of years. So mostly I get this response. That is, many entrepreneurs tell us, I didn't really think about this. And then we encourage them, okay, now think. And most of them then answer, and they come up with some really interesting answers, which I will not share right now. First, I will hear from you, then I will share. Okay, so now you got enough time to think. Now shout out the number.
5 or 10 years.
5 or 10 years. Okay, thank you. Rajesh?
Next 25 years at least.
Next 25 years. Okay, thank you. Somebody else, just jump in. Yes.
I can. So when we started, we never thought of that it'll go on. So like almost we are for there in 25 years we have developed a fantastic organization. But I still see that we should continue till 25 more years. It's a legacy we should continue, and we are into healthcare. So I think healthcare never dies. So
yeah.
Hope, let's see.
Great, fantastic. Deepika, I got your answer, lifetime, right? Somebody else, one more person.
I would say about 100 years, because my daughter is also into psychology, and she's also doing her organization psychology.
Right.
So, and she's in her third year of BA in psychology. So I think about 100 years that I would want to exist in this market.
Okay.
About 50 years of my lifetime, and then about 70, 80 years of my daughter's lifetime. So that is what I would think.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. Yeah, most of the people, entrepreneurs, end up answering something like this, like 50 years or my lifetime. And many people say beyond my lifetime, like it should be a legacy that I leave behind, right? And yeah, Dr. Nelson, I got your answer. And I just remembered, as all of you were speaking, the organization which had the largest lifespan was a Japanese organization which had something like 1,004 years. And there are many Japanese organizations who have been into multiple centuries. And long time back, I had heard of Sony. Most of you know Sony, right? Sorry. It had created a 300-year vision. Okay. So why am I saying all this here is OD is only relevant if you have a long-term game. If you are not thinking long term, there's no point in doing organization development. It's like, so the first rule of OD, organization development, is you have to have a long term perspective. Otherwise, you can do business in many ways and you don't have to build organizations. So let me say a little bit more about this. Most people, when you start your business, you are consumed by the everyday emergencies and the urgencies and the importance so much that if you give 48 hours every day, the business will consume it. And this work, the day-to-day or transaction, is very seducing. So it kind of consumes you. You don't even realize where the time goes. After a couple of years, you realize, oh my God, I am like fully sucked into my business. Now, inside of that day-to-day thing, sometimes you kind of steal time and work on your business model, which is the second level. So first level is your day-to-day transaction. Second level, your business model. Very rarely people take time out and do some thinking on what kind of organization are we building. And yes, if you're not having a long-term perspective, you don't need to think about it. But if you want a long-term perspective, then you have to think what kind of organization you are building. Let me add it another way. Rajesh, you don't mind taking your example, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
So your company, is it still called Cablevision?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So Cablevision is into the security systems, right? Electronic security systems.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to say the product of Cablevision is electronic security system.
Yes.
Okay. Now my question is, what is the product of Rajesh Soni? And the answer is the
My
kind.
organization.
Yeah.
My organization is my product.
Yes. As a leader, you are not known for the product of the company. That is there. That's the whole organization is supposed to be. But you,
Yes.
as a leader, as you rightly said, your product is the kind of organization that you build.
Yes.
Right. And if I ask you, and I'm asking everybody, how much time you spend in these three buckets: the day-to-days, the business model, and the organization? Give me the percentage. If you look at your last 1 year, give me the percentage. How much time did you work on the day-to-day and the root and all the things that keep coming up on your plate all the time, or the business model, or the actual what kind of organization you are building? So Mohit shared 85, 10, 5. Thank you, Mohit. Nelson, Dr. Nelson is saying day-to-day almost all the time. Somebody? Just shout out.
Mine is like 30, 50, and 20.
Okay. So you're spending a lot of time on your business model. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Jamie is at 60, right? And 60, 10, 30, great. 85, 10, 5. That is Bhinde. Bhinde. Thank you very much. So I hope I'm driving the message home that as a leader, your job is to spend maximum time in organization development, right? Let's say 50% of the time. And why? Because if you don't do it, there is nobody in your organization who's going to do it. Rajesh, do you have anybody else who's going to do it?
No.
That's how it is in most organizations. And Paresh bhai, I know you have a lot of other people and you might be having other leaders. But what do you think? What do you think? If you are not investing,
I still spend 60% in day-to-day. Yeah, true.
Yeah. No, and my question is, if you don't drive focusing on the organization building, are there enough leaders who will drive it?
Yeah, we have, but we still, as a organizational leader, we have to, spend a good amount of time to develop the organization.
Yeah.
True.
So that is the main point, that all of us, wherever we are, we need to start looking at, am I investing enough time on organization development? What kind of organization I am building? And some of you here are consultants and coaches, and the same question. What kind of organization you are building? Because you are also building an organization. Okay. And then, of course, if you're coaching other people, they're also, again, how much time are you investing? I know of coaches and consultants who, even with their clients, they spend more time on the day-to-day and the business model, and don't spend enough time on the organization development of their clients also. So that is kind of a blind spot for more people. Okay, so having said that, now let's look at what are the key elements of organization development and what are the key elements for creating extraordinary organizations. And I'm just going to share a slide just for helping you to kind of paint a picture for yourself. Just 1 second. Okay. Are you able to see the screen? Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, Nidhi. Thank you. So these are the key elements of OD and for creating extraordinary organizations. Each one is an ocean in itself. Okay, so it's not like, okay, one tick mark, but let's look at what are these key dimensions. So first and foremost is transforming leadership. Then is transforming culture. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about all of them, but let me first just touch base with them. So first is transforming leadership, then second is transforming culture, third is breakthrough competitive strategy, fourth is strategy execution, fifth is talent management. Everything. Now there are many more things, of course, right? So there is innovation, and there is customer service, and there is your finance management, and a lot of other dimensions. But these are the 5 pillars on which you build extraordinary organization. Take a moment to just get this, like print a mental picture, right? So transforming leadership, transforming culture, breakthrough competitive strategy, strategy execution, talent management. Okay, so let's look at each one of them. And then I'm going to ask you to score your organization, okay, on those parameters. And it is only for your own reference. So what we mean by transforming leadership? Couple of things. One is we are not interested in leaders. Let me stop the screen share. So we are not interested in leaders. Leaders is an individual phenomena. One of the aspects of organization development is to move from individual focus to organization focus. Okay, and we're going to talk in some other context also for a move from problem solving to actually system building. Okay, but right now in the context of leadership, when we are saying we are not interested in leaders, but we are interested in leadership, what can you get out of that? Not interested in leaders, but interested in leadership. What does it mean for you? Somebody?
How they drive their team is what the leadership is.
Okay, thank you, Nidhi. Somebody else?
I think leadership is just a quality of a leader, but leader is just a person or a designation attached. But leadership is the quality of a person.
Okay, good. Thank you.
According to me, it's not the person, it's a quality of the person who owning that chair.
Okay, good. Thank you. How we are looking at, most of you, what you responded is quite right, in the right direction, I would say. One important element is we are looking at everybody providing leadership. And in the current understanding of leadership, That's not happening. Because people think, oh, it is some roles who should provide leadership. No, that is outdated. That is a 19th century game. If everybody in your organization is not having the environment to provide leadership, what is leadership? Let's really look at it. I would say key elements of leadership. I'm not covering everything, but key elements of leadership is ownership, right? Is responsibility, is taking initiative. And you can add more components. That's not the point here. But if I'm saying everybody in their way can provide leadership. And if they're not, you're missing out the whole point. So if you move from focus of individuals to actually building the system, building the organization, that everybody is providing leadership, that's what we are talking about. And that's the rule of OD, okay? And OD is very different from the traditional training coaching game, because the traditional coaching game, training game is about improving individuals, is about improving or fixing individuals, right? OD is not about that. It's about building the system, right? Now, so first level of leadership, I am just going to touch base here. We are not doing the 6-month program in 60 minutes, right? But this is what we want to focus on. Now, what is the other role of leadership? The other role of leadership is to die. The leadership means what? To die. What does it mean? To give up the attachment to the past. To give up the attachment to what we know about the industry, what we know about ourselves, what we know about the organization, what we know about the future. Unless you are not dying, you are not getting born again, right? And which means you're not getting ready for the future. What is the job of a leader? The job of the leader is not to know and be an encyclopedia of the past. No, the job of the leader is to take the organization into the future. So your marriage to the past is actually going to come in the way. Oh, this is how the industry used to happen. No, this is how it was. Sorry. Every industry, you know it, right? You talk about it, but you don't allow it to really hit you in your gut. Is every industry is going through disruption. Already going through disruption, will continue to go through disruption, at least three existential disruptions in the next 10 years. So much so, these disruptions that we are talking about are not necessarily only for the companies, like the whole industry will get redefined. And I'm saying at least 3 such disruptions will happen for every industry in the next 10 years. And each company, doesn't matter how successful you are, each company is just one disruption away from an existential crisis. Each company. And all of you know companies who were much bigger than yours and they got disrupted. Do you know? Name some of them, please.
Kodak, for example.
Kodak, okay.
Nokia, for example.
Yes. Sorry? Nelson?
Ambassador car.
Ambassador, yeah. And some people have kind of got disrupted and they've survived again. And if you look from that, you could even like talk to GM and Ford and everybody, right? So there are thousands of examples of companies who were thousands of times bigger than yours and still got disrupted because the leaders did not die. And die, I'm not talking physically. They didn't die from in their understanding and attachment to the past. And they were not in the sensing of the future mode. See, the future is always emerging. It's like a wave in the ocean. If you want to surf the wave, yeah, it's good to have all the knowledge about the ocean and everything else, but that wave doesn't care about all your knowledge. in that moment, either you will sense the wave and you will ride it, or you're going to get disrupted. No history is going to save you. Right? Even if you have written a thesis on ocean, doesn't matter. Either you sense the wave or you get disrupted. So the kind of leadership that is required, which is creating an organization which is tuned into sensing the future. Not just they are sensing the future. I mean, some leaders are to some degree, but they think that's enough. No, 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 no. You will have to create the whole organization sensing the future. That takes me to the next part, which is the culture and transforming culture. Now, as you deal with culture, you have to deal with human beings, and human beings are complicated machinery, right? In different forms. So there are a lot of illusions that we have. One of the illusion is we listen. How many of you have this illusion that you listen? So let me give you the good news. Human beings are not designed for listening. They are designed for survival. They're not designed for listening. So if I tell you that you are never ever going to be 12 feet tall, are you going to get upset with me? Rajesh, I'm taking liberty with you. If I say you will never ever be 12 feet tall, are you going to be upset with me?
Yes, because
Well,
this is what I wish, and yes, I never did.
No. Do you want to be 12 feet tall?
No,
No. So I'm saying you will never be 12 feet tall. If I say that to you, will you be upset with me?
no.
No. You say, of course, I know that. What are you telling me? It's nonsense. I know that, right? It's like, I don't want it. It's not the game. That's not like, it's not my focus. You're talking irrelevant. Same way as human beings are not designed for being 12 feet tall, human beings are not designed for listening.
Okay.
But we get upset because we have this illusion that human beings should listen. And we need to be listening, and we are good listeners, and we need to somehow be there. Right? But once you understand that you are not 12 feet tall, if you want to reach something which is 12 feet at 12 feet height, you will use a ladder, right? Or you will use some structure. It doesn't stop you. But we don't do that with listening because we think we know listening. So we don't use any mechanism to allow us to really listen because we are trapped in this illusion that we are listeners. Right? Nobody listens. Human beings, nobody. 8 billion people. Right? Nobody listens. Nobody is designed for listening.
We hear
we
things. We hear things, but I don't think we listen. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. And I'm talking about deep listening. This is a leadership conversation, right?
Absolutely, right.
So we are talking about deep listening, right?
Yeah, and we are trying to, insist that everybody listen us what we say then.
Yeah, without realizing that nobody is listening.
Yeah.
Nobody is designed for listening, right?
Yeah. Okay, got it.
So why do human beings have this illusion of listening? Is the way we are programmed. Imagine that you are in a circular room and there are windows all across, but they are closed and the curtains are pulled, right? And you're sitting in the middle of the room and there is a projector besides you. And the projector is projecting stuff and it has the audio and video and everything. And you're watching it and it's interesting and it's like fully kind of gets you engulfed, engrossed, everything. So you're seeing, let's say you're seeing a film, your whole life. You know what is the name of the film that you're seeing? It's called The Reality. So the name of your film is The Reality, right? And what you don't realize is this projector is actually connected to your brain. So you are watching this film and it's called The Reality. So you have all the answers, right? Now, when your team member or customer or spouse or somebody else, that you're talking to them, very soon you realize, like, this is so surprising. How come they don't understand? This is the reality. And the reason they don't understand is because they are in their room watching the film, another film, unfortunately, which has the same name, called The Reality. So they are getting so, Rajesh is otherwise intelligent. Why can't he understand this reality? And you're saying my staff is otherwise intelligent. Why can't they understand this reality? Okay. So to kind of make the long story short, all of us are living in our head. And if you want an organization, if you want teamwork, you want culture, you want to build anything, you will have to create an environment where you and everybody around you get out of their head and discover the world newly, discover the customers newly, discover the industry newly, discover each other newly. And you'll be surprised. So I'm going to pause with one example. We're working with an education institution. They have 35 institutions under their group. And the team was the heads of all these institutions. And we did an intervention with them. And as a part of that intervention, they were trained in certain deep listening practices that we do in the program. And then they were asked to interact with the staff, with the students, and with the parents. And I was actually watching them as they were going through those exercises with these people. But after the whole exercise, we asked them, okay, what happened? They said, we thought we are the best school in town. But we had no idea of what our stakeholders are actually expecting from us. And I promise you, this is not a one organization experience. This is what you will discover for every organization, every leader, everybody. And people have been in the industry for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And when they go through these exercises and then go out and they say, oh my God, I didn't see the industry. I thought I was a master of this industry. I didn't see it that. I didn't really know that this is what my stakeholders actually expect from me. So again, the point is creating a culture where you and all your team members, associates, everybody are practicing deep listening and rediscovering the industry, rediscovering each other, rediscovering the company, rediscovering what the stakeholders want from you. Okay. Unless you do that, you're going to create strategy from what you know from the past, which is dangerous. So let me pause here. And now I'm going to ask you to score your organization on these two parameters. On the transformed leadership, as I said, the collective leadership, and tuned to sensing the future. And this culture of being out of your head and discovering the world, the industry, the colleagues, everybody newly. So in those two parameters, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much would you rate your organization? Minus marks are not allowed, huh? Okay. Okay. How much would you rate yourself, your organization?
I would say 0 or 1.
0 or 1. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Siddharth. Everybody, if you can get your video on, please do that. Okay. This becomes interactive. Otherwise, it is a lecture. right? And I don't like lectures. Rajesh, thank you. For Deepika, 3 to 5. Thank you. One more person. How would you rate your organization? Or if you're a consultant working with an organization, you can rate that organization. We don't need the name. It's just that you get a point, get the point. That's the whole perspective here. Okay, so let me pause here and let's see if you have any questions of whatever I have said so far. Do you understand what I'm saying? And do you get that? Or you have any questions? Anything?
Sir, in the slide before,
Yeah, Harshvardhan.
yeah, there are, you said mentioned pillars, right? Leadership, then team management and everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yes.
for that, maybe the order, like, can we take the order irregularly or from the above to below? Because first, like talent requirements, like from what I remember is first is talent resourcing,
No,
right? So
no, talent is in the sequence that we are shown. We're starting from leadership.
yeah, like I was
Leadership,
saying,
culture,
yeah,
strategy, execution, and talent management.
yeah. Rather than going from leadership, why not from talent management to, yeah, I was asking that one.
As OD, we work with leaders,
Okay, yeah, correct.
right?
Got it, yeah.
So either we talk to the leader in the organization or we don't do anything. So this
Okay.
is about ODX, right? OD consulting or
Yes, sir.
OD assignment. So it starts with leadership.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, somebody else. And somebody who joined in right now, welcome. And again, requesting everybody, if you can get your videos on, that would be great. Okay.
So Manoj,
anybody?
just one question here.
Yeah, Deepika.
In terms of OD practice, one of the things in the leadership and transforming culture is also looking at aligning your purpose, vision, mission. All of that will also be a part of these areas which you work with.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
But we say to people that mostly when people contact us saying we want to do a vision workshop or we want to do some strategy workshop, right? We politely tell them that they're not qualified to do vision and they're not qualified to talk strategy. Because if they're only listening to their head, what's the point of the vision? If you are in your head, you are going to create a vision from what you know. And mostly the future that people imagine is an extrapolation of the past that they know.
Okay.
Right? So first we train them into this deep listening, get them to go out in the world and actually see the world, like see the world newly, see all the stakeholders newly. And then after that, then we work with them on creating their vision and other stuff.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So generally, when they
Can I have
contact us for a 2-day workshop, it ultimately ends up becoming a 3-month initiative at least, just to articulate their purpose and vision.
So can I ask a
Yep.
question?
Sure.
So right now I don't have any organization or anything, though I had registered a company some years ago. I haven't done anything on it,
Yeah.
but right now I'm planning to start on a community project.
Hmm.
So if I have to now, because I'm starting from ground zero, yeah. So what would be your advice in terms of this? So do I need to go with the research first, based on what you're saying?
What are you planning to do? I am not sure of that.
It's just trying to get my community together and engage with each other.
I don't understand.
So basically, I'm originally from Goa, but born and bred in Mumbai. So I'm
Right.
just going to be engaging the Goan community
Hmm.
to interact with each other and get them onto to engage with each other on some platform.
Yeah, but it's like, what's the long-term game?
Long-term gain is that the community will be together and they will be engaged with each other, they'll be helping each other, they'll be learning from each other, will be all of that.
Okay. So I would say that start interacting with people and to create a long-term game which has some bigger objectives, right? And then start looking at how to build the organization. First, just interact with a lot of people and create a common goal from a long-term perspective, right? Like 25-year perspective or more.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Manoj, I had one question. So
Yes.
in the slide that you showed, so the five pillars. So do those five pillars change basis the industry as well? Say maybe from a blue collar to a white collar industry. Does the OD pattern change?
Not really.
Hmm.
We worked with more than 30 types of industries. And I don't think it changes. We have IT companies, we have healthcare companies, we have educational companies, we have NGOs, government organizations. I don't think this changes much. They see, when you are in the execution phase, those things will become more relevant, which is the fourth phase, right? And of course, this as a component, as part of your strategy, when you are doing the research, those components will change. But that you need to see your industry newly, that remains there. That you need to create a competitive strategy, that is clear. That doesn't change. Doesn't matter which industry. Thank you. Okay, so now let's go to the third part, which is, let me see if I share the screen again. Okay, so this is breakthrough competitive strategy. Okay. So let's look at what is the most important word in the world of strategy.
Game plan.
Sorry?
Game plan.
Time frame. Okay, great.
No, game plan. Did you
Game
say-
plan.
Yeah.
No, game plan. Yeah, good. Let's see. What else? Somebody?
I
What is
think
the most important word in strategy?
Setting priorities.
Setting priorities. Okay. Somebody else? One more person?
I think competition and breakthrough.
Okay. Good. So, see, in OD, we have already said the most important word is long term, right? So, I'm not going there. That is now in this conversation, that is taken for granted. Now, the most important word in strategy is no. N-O, no. It's about saying no to lots of good ideas. It's about saying no to almost everything. Saying no to lots of good ideas, lots of great ideas, so that you can focus on one thing. So strategy is about saying no. What is the job of the strategy? So forget how to create the strategy, but what is the job of the strategy? If you create a strategy, that should do what?
That should achieve your long-term goals.
Okay.
And also it should give you give the overall company the direction and as to what all steps are involved to get there.
Okay. Good. What else? Edith is saying to put people on the path. Yes, you're right. Whatever you said so far is right. Okay. One more person. What is the job of the strategy?
meeting long and short-term goals?
Yes, valid. Consider, yeah, go ahead. Somebody was speaking. Yeah,
Yeah,
Rajesh.
follow what your vision is like, no, what your vision is defined from the day one. So the strategy is like, to move on your vision.
Okay. Yes, valid. Whatever all of you have said is valid, but let me add one dimension. The job of the strategy is to make your organization unique in the eyes of the customer. The job of the strategy is to make your organization unique in the eyes of the customer. Now, many people think they are unique, which may be valid from their own perspective. But we are not looking at your perspective. We are looking at your organization being unique from the eyes of the customer. Because if you are not unique and if you do not have a sustainable competitive advantage, then you are a commodity. So the real choice is either be unique or be a commodity. And the moment you become a commodity, what happens? Somebody tell me what happens when your product, your
There's
services
no
become
edge
a
over the
commodity.
others, and everybody treats you like any other company.
Yeah, no edge over the others, and you're easily replaceable.
Perishable.
Yeah, become a me too. Are you going to get a premium? Difficult, right?
Driven by price factor only.
Yeah, price, and they will squeeze you on terms and conditions and a lot of stuff, right? And yeah, and if you disappear from the market, is anybody going to cry for you?
No.
Like if one potato supplier stops business and goes into some other business, is anybody going to cry in your city? No.
No.
Yeah. And that's what happens when you do not have a do not have a strategy which makes you unique. You are at the risk of becoming a commodity. And I'll give you one bad news. You have experienced it, but you may not have articulated it. Unfortunately, most of the times, the market tries to make you a commodity. You try to become a special product, special service, special company, and the market is always trying to push you to become a commodity. How many of you experienced that? The market is like gravity, is always trying to push you to be a commodity. Yeah.
Yes.
Like they will say, oh, like, what's the price of your product? Okay. It will keep pushing towards being a commodity. And your job is to make sure that you don't become a commodity. Because the moment you become a commodity, your future is at stake, right? Huge risk. So we have to learn strategy newly. Whatever we have learned about strategy, that's not enough. Because most of the times, the strategies that companies have created, they're not making them unique. They're not making them sustainably unique. Because it's not about just unique today, right? How do you have that sustainable competitive advantage? So that's what we have to learn. Okay, so now again, everybody, sorry to remind you, get your videos on, please. Half of the people I can't see. And then now score yourself. Is your company's strategy right now making you unique on a scale of 0 to 10? What would you rate? Is your company's strategy making you unique in the eyes of the customer? Okay. And if you have a doubt, yes or no, then you look at how much premium you are getting. One way to look at it is how much premium you are getting over the competitors. Right? And how much preference that people are giving you over the competitors, not just because of price, but because of other factors. Right? So I hope you're getting the point here. Yeah. So these are some of the foundational conversations of OD. We have to revisit leadership, we have to revisit culture, and we have to revisit the way we think about strategy. And whatever we have done till now is good, but not good enough for the future. The future needs something more or much more. Okay. And that's why we designed this whole 6-month OD initiative. It's like a very rigorous boot camp. So I'm going to pause here and now tell you a little bit more about the program and the way it's designed. So it's a 6-month rigorous hands-on program, practical, all implementation oriented, action oriented. And the structure is in the 6 months, we are having 6 weekends. That is Saturday, Sunday, full time. And out of those 6 weekends, the people will have, so they're online weekends, but people will have an option to come in person. So we will be creating that flexibility where some people who want to come in person, we will have 3 weekends where we'll also have in-person weekends as a choice, as an option. Okay, and then there are 18 classroom sessions, that is the group coaching sessions. It's like a once a week kind of thing. And those are for 2 hours. Plus there will be small groups and the support structure for the small groups to actually learn and implement whatever we're doing in a like a completely practical way, and supporting you in the whole journey of unlearning and learning and applying. And this program is on the principles of learning by doing, which means the more you do, the more you learn. Okay. Now, some of the principles that we are working on here, we use Theory U by Dr. Otto Scharmer of MIT to help us in the transformation of the leadership and the culture. We use Competitive Strategy by Michael Porter and Roger L. Martin to help you to think strategically. We use a very time-trusted mechanism of the Balance Scorecard to help you with the execution. I have not talked about the execution, but that. We use our own competency framework method to help you design the talent management. So most of the work that we are doing, these are all globally tested, working with hundreds and thousands of companies. And we have put all of them in a package in a way that you can learn and implement it immediately as you are learning, can immediately implement. So you attend a session, at the end of the session, you start your implementation. You don't have to wait for the end of the program. You're actually in action. And yeah, so that's the whole mechanism for the 6 months. It's starting from 4th of January. And that will be our cohort, 3rd cohort. And this is, we are calling this as an Asia batch because we are over and above people from India and Philippines. We are also expecting a couple of people from other countries to join in. Okay. So this is a little bit background of the OD program. Most of you, when you received the invitation for the program, that is the calendar invite, if you've seen the calendar invite, you also had a brochure included in that. But if you missed it for some reason, I am going to share the brochure link here in the WhatsApp, in the group. And I would request you to copy it. Okay, 1 second. You'll have to give me a second for that. Yeah, Aljo, you have it ready? The brochure link?
No, I don't.
Okay, just no problem. I'll do that. Just in the meanwhile, if you have any questions or you want to reflect on what does it mean for your organization if you were to transform your leadership, culture, and strategic thinking, what would it be? I think that's the question I would like to give you right now. If you were to transform the leadership, culture, and strategic thinking as in the direction that I am pointing at, what would it mean for your organization? So please reflect and respond. Anybody? What would it look like in your organization if you were to transform the leadership, the culture, and the strategic thinking in the direction that we have been discussing on this call? Parashbhai, anything? You're on mute if you're saying something.
Definitely, I mean, the leadership is like, making everybody taking their own, decisions, not waiting for the senior leadership in focus. So definitely a 3-year or a 5-year plan strategy to, take the company thinking in a forward direction. I think this leadership cultural shift is, I think, utmost important, and definitely it will have impact.
Right. And if everybody kind of started getting out of their head and got into a listening, learning mode,
Yeah.
right, and a collaboration and co-creation mode, right?
Yeah.
Do you see that it could alter the future for the organization?
Definitely, I think this will definitely have a deeper impact on thinking.
Yeah. Thank you. We are really interested in organizations being able to grow 10x and even 100x, but it would only happen on the foundation of a new era of leadership, new era of culture, and new era of strategic thinking. Rajesh, am I making sense? You're on mute.
Yes, what you mean, what you say, it means lot, and I'm just, like inner inquiring on that portion. Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you. And you know that it will not mean just your transformation. You have always been interested in just in your transformation, which is great, but you will have to now look at the transformation of the organization.
Yeah. So I need your sometimes on that because I'm passing through certain phase where I'm really confused. What should I do further for my organization? So I would
Yeah,
request
you
you
should.
to give me some personal time to discuss on that part.
Sure, sure. Always, always. Okay, so everybody, if you are on your computer, you can download the brochure that I have sent
I would
you.
have it.
Right, everybody, please do that. And also technology is always going to be doing mischief at the wrong time. Okay. All of a sudden, my WhatsApp started acting funny, so I had the link there, but I have shared you the brochure itself, and if you open it in any of your browsers, then you will be able to use the links also. Okay. Now, Now let's look at execution. And let's look at a problem that we notice in most organizations. Actually, let's talk about a couple of problems. One of the problems that you will notice is what we call as symptom thinking. There is a problem, and then people try to solve that problem. It's almost like a doctor who specializes in applying Band-Aid. And unfortunately, the way our industries are run, the way our companies are run, we have become Band-Aid specialists. You have a problem, you try to deal with that problem. Okay. So we call it symptom thinking. What we don't realize is the symptom is never the issue. It is the what is beneath it, what is causing the symptom. So in an organizational context, what are the structural issues that are causing the symptoms? So let's look at what do I mean by symptoms. So it could be external symptoms, internal symptoms. External symptoms could be like your market share, or your competitive position, or how your customers are valuing you or not valuing you, right? Your position in the market, and the sales and the revenue and the profitability and all those things. So that is one part of the symptoms that you deal with. The other part could be internal, in terms of your R&D. Is enough new production coming in, that customer satisfaction, the whole internal mechanism for customer satisfaction, or things like very important things like engagement, employee engagement, attrition. So if you look at all of these issues, or teamwork, right, collaboration, ownership, initiative, if you look at all of these issues, these are all symptoms. Let's say whatever issue you can see easily, it's a symptom. And when you try to fix the symptom, you become a Band-Aid doctor, right? A doctor who specializes in applying Band-Aid. You don't really want to become that kind of a doctor. Okay. But then you have to ask, what are the structural issues which are causing these symptoms? That's where you have to think a lot, right? That's where you will have to do some real thinking and engage with people. And I'll give you one very common example. Most organizations say they value teamwork. Yes?
Yeah.
But if you look at their performance management system, their reward and recognition system, it is showing we do not want you to work as a team. We want you to produce results as an individual and get your rewards as an individual. Most companies say, oh, we want great people in our company. Okay. And if you look at their recruitment system and the whole design of their recruitment system, it shows two things. One is they don't know what they want. Second, they don't know how to evaluate what they want. Third, they say, well, we want our people to grow. No. You ask managers, what do they really want? They don't want people to grow. The whole system of supervision is designed as do what we want you to do. You say you want leadership, you say you want initiative, but is the organization actually designed for that? How many times can somebody in your company go to their supervisor and give a crazy idea without being shot? And so you have to start looking at, I'm just triggering your thought process here, and don't get stuck to the example. The point is, consider whatever issues you are seeing internally and externally for your organization. All those issues, please label them as symptoms. And first rule of OD is don't treat symptoms. Right? You don't want to be a doctor specializing in Band-Aid. So force yourself, force your team, get them, okay, if this is the symptom, what is the structural issue that is causing it? If we are losing market share, what are the structural issues which are causing it? If our products are not being appreciated by the company, customers, what are the structural issues that are causing it? Whatever is your issue, look at it as a symptom. And then start engaging with your team. Okay, what are the structural issues behind this? Start a new inquiry. Don't ask this question, how to solve this problem. Don't go there. It's too premature to go to how to solve this problem. Go to what are the structural issues behind these symptoms. And it's not going to be easy. I'm not trying to make it sound easy, but the point is it will be the right direction to go. Not everything easy is good, right? Otherwise, fast food would have been considered as the best food on the planet. But no doctor has said that. Okay, so so one is we have to deal with, if you are serious about building your organization, you have to create a culture, create the whole mechanism where you don't deal with symptoms, you go to structural issues. So that's another part of OD that we have to look at. Okay, now the main problem that I wanted to talk about is consider that in most organizations, the vision, the strategy, the execution, and the talent management are managed as if they are 4 different organizations. It's like saying, I want to go and win the Hockey World Cup. I am playing football. I am having a cricket scorecard, and I have appointed volleyball players as my team members. That's how funny we are in the way we run organization. The vision, the strategy, the execution, and the talent management do not speak to each other. They're not synchronized. Can you prove in your organization that your performance management system is actually supporting your strategy? Can you prove in an organization that your promotion system, your recruitment system, by the way, half of the problems in organization start with wrong people in the wrong role. Half of the problems. So is your talent management, performance management, right? And your execution department management, everything in connection with the strategy, connected with the vision, and is everybody aligned? So that's the whole world of execution that you have to master, which is what we're talking about in this program. And we are giving you actual tools to do this. Okay, so if you are if you are in the company, it's your own company, you will be able to implement it. If you are a consultant working with the company, you will be able to implement it. And it's all hands-on, right? So this is what the whole program is about. We have tools for everything, and we are actually training you in those tools, applying those tools, and giving you personal touch, hand holding to make sure that you actually win. Okay, and in the brochure that we have sent you, you will see a couple of participants have also shared what they have, how they have experienced the program. And I'm just going to ask Vandana and Sham. They're in the program. They had completed hardly 25% of the program. But if they want to say something of what's opening up for them as a participant in the program, I'll give them a minute or two. Vandana, do you want to, or Sham, anybody? You want to share something?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay.
I think it's just a couple of weekly sessions and 2 full-day sessions over 2 months. The tools which are the first part of the program it's very, very practical. It's not all theory. So whatever we are learning, we are actually executing every day in our day-to-day work. So it's not just something, we are just learning concepts. Second, there's smaller groups which are created where we really have ecosystem where we can actually connect, reach out, and share our learnings, learn from each other. So there's a very good ecosystem built up. And some of the powerful concepts of deep listening and the empathy walks and whatever is taught and the practice changes the whole world for us personally and also in our interactions with others. So far I'm enjoying it to the fullest. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Shyam, do you want to say
Yes,
something?
thanks, Manoj. Yeah. So I've had a background which spanned corporate as well as personally being an entrepreneur, and then moving towards being or rather have been a coach as well. So across the three spectrums, one of the key areas has been awareness and listening. Through the first 2 months of the program, what has been impactful for me is the three-pronged approach that it has brought about. Awareness. Second, where do you have or what are your structures and beliefs that you work on? And third, in the context of, say, probably implementation, what are your limiting thoughts and what is your thought pattern that governs how you engage with the outside world? Now, for me, this is very essential from a point of being a coach because I am interacting with individuals across different industries. And usually there is a notion that you need to have all the relevant expertise before you can engage in a consulting engagement. Fundamental shifts have happened in terms of thinking, listening, and enabling others to draw up plans, which is practical, real, and sensing it from a future which is possible. So for me, this program has been beneficial on a whole new level where I was under the view to begin with coaching, and then OD consulting will follow in terms of executive coaching or business coaching. But now it is the other way around where I see OD consulting and business coaching being a value add to it.
Right.
Thanks, Manoj.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And I'll just say in one line, which Shyam didn't say, is he joined 2 months back with one idea about his profession. And now that whole idea has changed, his profession is changing, and his brain is getting rewired. So right now he's in a transition phase where the brain is getting rewired. And that's what will happen for each one of us. We have to rewire our brain to be able to see the industry differently, see the company differently, see our role differently. I'll share a couple of examples. One is, so I started consulting, by the way, in 1994. Okay, so it's just been 30 years in this field or different forms. And one of the organizations that I started consulting in the initial phase was this education institution. And we got associated with them when they had the idea of creating an education institution. And from that time, we worked with them over a period of 10 years. And now they are a renowned, highly recognized, respected group with 35 plus institutions and a huge presence in the market. I also had the opportunity to work with NIS Sparta, which was at one time Asia's largest training company. And earlier it was part of the NIIT group and then the Reliance group. And we worked with, with the companies, but also my role was to train and manage more than 125 trainers. And we created whole new methodologies of supporting companies. The other part of my exposure has been, I have been a global in the past, I have been a global faculty with Landmark Education. I invested around 20 years there, as most of it as a volunteer. I had the opportunity to train more than 50,000 or maybe even 1 lakh of people, trained and developed more than 100 trainers and coaches in that. And And as Pata, Deepika, I had 2 stints. I was in my first stint, I was there from 2004 to 2008 with the Reliance project. And then I was in 2013 to 15 to when we wanted to rebuild NIS as a phase 2. And oh, okay. So you were from 92 to 2001, right? Yeah. And one of our big success stories that we are very fond of, I would say 2 right now. One is a company that we worked with in Thailand, and this was during COVID. So we did all the consulting online, okay? And because there was no way to travel there. And in these 3 years, this was a 60-year-old company. It got transformed so much using all of the same principles that it got awarded by their prime minister as the best managed small and medium enterprise. And every year from that time, they have been getting awards and they have become a big kind of celebrity in their circles. So that, and I'll just share one more recent development. We did some consulting for, we did a consulting for a year. The consulting is still on for a small, very small IT company, which was like 4 or 5 crores in revenue. And in 1.5 years, they are now at around 15 crores plus revenue. And they got a valuation of 30 crores, like not valuation of 30 crores. The entrepreneur is now selling his 40% share at 30 crores. And it all shifted because of a couple of key things that we worked on in the same lines. This leadership transformation, culture building, strategy, and execution. The same stuff that we are going to teach, the same thing that we apply in all our consulting also. Okay, so let me pause here and see if you have any questions. And those of you who would like to register in the course, you have 2 things. If you want to register, there is a link in the brochure. You can register yourself by clicking that. And if you want to talk to us, get some more clarity, I'm going to share my WhatsApp link and WhatsApp number here. And Aljor, can you also do that? So people in Philippines, if you want to talk to me, you can do that. You want to talk to Aljor in Philippines, you can do that. Okay, I have sent my WhatsApp link here. Yeah, and any questions, anything that anybody wants to ask before we wrap up? Manoj Patel, anything for you? Yeah, go ahead. Somebody was saying something.
Yeah. So the question is, like as you mentioned, most of the companies they have this structure which don't allow all of these flexibilities. So I can see that the implementation of all that you're saying is only possible for new companies where they're open to, because most of the companies, their structure is like that they don't want anybody to be smarter than what they have devised for
No,
their
I will say, Dr. Nelson, we worked with companies with 60 years, right? 60-year-old companies. Right now, one of our participant, he is MD of a 99-year-old company. Okay. So what you need for transformation is that the leadership is interested and committed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what size. It doesn't matter what industry. It doesn't matter anything. Right? I'm sharing from my experience of so many years. If you have a leadership team which is committed, interested, right, you can cause miracles. If not, then it is going to be trouble. Okay.
Correct.
Everything else we have, all the tools we have, all the methodologies we have. You just need a partnership with the leadership team. That's all. Don't need anything else. Right? We promise to the MDs that if you and I partner, miracles are guaranteed. But if we are not together on one page, then then there's no point really.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what you should look at. If you are going into consulting, that's what you should look at.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, everybody. Last chance if you want to ask questions or say something. And yeah, and yeah, Vandana, go ahead.
I think one very important part of the program is also when you also see the my real reality and that concept itself, one concepts. I think a lot to learn individually for all us also to like make shifts, because
Yeah.
once you shift, everything around you shifts, and that's the power of the program according to me. Because we have also created our own realities and we are just so obsessed with it. Yeah.
Right. Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing that. And everybody, thank you very much for your time. I hope the session was useful for you, worth your time, and be in touch if you want any support. And yeah, if you want to register, the links are there. If you need any support, please reach out. Thank you very much. Take care.
Manoj, just
Thank
a
you.
question.
Yeah, Nidhi.
Would you share a recording of this session with us?
No, we don't. Sorry, this session. Yeah, this
Yeah.
session. This session you can get. Can you send me a message on the by WhatsApp? I will send it. We'll send the link to you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Do you
you.
have a
Take care.
WhatsApp group or something where you're adding us all on there?
No, not really. We for the people who join the program, there is a WhatsApp group, not separately right now.
Okay.
Right now, we don't have.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. But if you get in touch, send a connection. If you connect with me on WhatsApp or LinkedIn, then you will get information of what we're doing.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah, just send me a message on WhatsApp and I will include you in that list. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.